Hey guys, welcome to Tales of Adventure. Today we have a two-part story of betrayal that you guys may have seen before in your own adventures. I'm going to get right into it, so roll post. Our group consisted of a half-elf rogue, a female elven sorceress, a human cleric, and a dwarven fighter, and then there's me, a human eldritch knight. We had gone through a few adventures, bounty hunting, rescuing kidnapped people, wiping out bandit camps, etc. You know, the basic normal stuff you go through on adventures. This adventure was a little different. This time we were going against cultists that were taking people under the cover of night and sacrificing them to demons for power. The first thing we did was investigate the homes of the people taken to see if they had anything in common. While investigating, we noticed someone trailing us and decided to set a trap. We fed the mayor a bunch of false information and said that we were actually going to trap the person because we knew who was responsible. But we just needed one more piece of information and one more piece of evidence to make everything stick. We told them that we check it out in the morning, and we were retiring to our inn for the night. We slept in shifts to make sure that we weren't caught by surprise in the middle of the night, sharing a room and claiming it was for the purpose of saving funds because we were running low on money due to our. The DM rolled, and sure enough, the cultists made their move that night. The dwarf woke me up as soon as he was sure that something was about to happen. I groaned a little bit as I got up, making sure that the others were awake as well. We had the door not just locked, but blocked with a chair and wedged up under the knob so that nobody could come in through that the only way they could come in was through the window. We were on the third story of the inn. The windows crashed and shuttered as darkly clad figures came bursting in. Meanwhile, the blade of an axe hacked away at the door. The dwarf and cleric manned the windows while the sorceress and I took to the door. Everyone lost sight of the thief as soon as the commotion started. The dwarf and the cleric were pushing over ladders and cutting ropes, while the sorceress and I were keeping cultists from pushing into the room. I managed to skewer one on my sword and used his body as a shield while continuing to block the door, making sure that the cultists were between him and the body. The sorceress threw a vial of purple worm stomach acid, and it smashed on a crowd just in front of me. Screams pierced our ears for a moment while the dwarf strangled someone with the rope. And through all of this, the thief had taken the cultist's body. He had undressed it and put on the clothes. After that, he slipped out of the window, and this dude, acing all of his stealth rolls somehow, then got to the ground floor. The thief started backstabbing people with his poison dagger. We seemed to be fending off the cultists pretty well, up until ones inside started to chant. Some of the dead cultists started to get up again. This surprised us at first, but we had a cleric and he started turning a few of the dead, confirming that they were in fact zombies. But a few didn't just turn; they had no lurching movements. They were possessed. The sorceress cast fireball into the crowd that possessed. The room caught fire and it spread quickly. I yelled for others to get out as quickly as possible. All of them asked how I planned to escape since I was still there holding the door as well as I could. I simply yelled for them to get out, and again I shoulder rammed the first person in front of me, bowling them over and into the crowd. This time the others took my advice and escaped through the window. The thief threw off his cultist disguise as he didn't want to get pummeled by the rest of the group. He asked where I was while searching for the cultists for any good loot. That's when the roof of the inn exploded as the possessed and I crashed through it. One of the possessed had changed, taking on a more demonic appearance, complete with horns and huge wings. I was grappling with it while it flew through the air. It clawed at me and bit me with its jagged fangs while I did my best to stab it in face and wings. The demon bit into my shoulder. I screamed, and then made a critical stab into its eye. The demon roared, and then I ran a dagger down its own throat with my left arm. The demon started chewing through my arm as I tore through its wing. I drove my sword as far as I could into the demon and managed to make a critical scratch. My sword plunged deeper and deeper into it and forced it to crash into the ground. I had to make a constitution save and barely passed that to make sure I didn't get knocked out from the fall. I gripped my bloody nub of an arm and glared at the demon with a portion of my arm clearly sticking out of its mouth. Choke on it, I said just before I pulled my sword out of it. The DM rewarded me by making my sword magical fire. Some kind of how the demon's blood enchanted my blade. I was okay with it. More points for me. But, hey, the cleric healed me as best he could, and the dwarf gave me a hearty pat on the shoulder, which actually was pretty hard. One of the cultists was still alive, so we started interrogating him. After seeing that my character was the one that handed the demon its defeat, the cultist was fearful for his life. He gave us all the information we wanted. The remaining people that were kidnapped, who were inside of a crypt. The cultist showed us the way into the crypt. Still afraid of me, he made sure that there was an ample amount of space between him and me as he showed us around through the crypt. We saved all the townsfolk and were feeling pretty good until as we were untying some of the last ones, the cultist betrayed us. Shocker, I know. And he hit a switch that moved a stone slab down over the exit. In the crypt was a vampire. The cleric tried to turn it but failed, and we had to fight it. I rolled a strength check to see if I could actually do something with my stub and my arm, and I managed to force open the stone slab that was keeping the exit, but I had to remain. Otherwise, the entrance would just close shut again. Everyone starts to run out of the room as I call for them to escape, and just before I made it through, the rogue stabbed me in the gut and then kicked me over. I fell back into the room, and as the room sealed shut, the vampire grappled me and began feeding. The group saw what happened, and the thief, he figured I'd be dead. He figured that would be the last he saw of me. He was wrong, and I was going to make sure of it. But that is a story for another time. To be continued. End post. Okay, okay. Was it me, or was the thief just a dick? Flat out. Was he just, come on now. The dude just, hey, I'm just going to shank when everybody could have got out. He just wanted to make sure that there was somebody there for the vampire to feed on. And let's get the dude that is pretty much what, disabled? I don't want to say disabled, but the dude had a nub for an arm after it got chewed up. But yeah, that was betrayal of the highest caliber. I don't know. Has anything ever like this happened to you guys? Let us know down in the comments. We'll post part 2 in a day or two. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification button, and share, as that helps our channel grow. And we want to share this with as many people as we can. Catch you later.